Officer Mark Hill believed one thing with his whole heart. Some people deserved the law. Others deserved fear. For 10 years, that belief lived behind his badge. And for 10 years, no one challenged it. Until one night, one mistake, one arrest, one truth that would destroy everything he thought he knew. Mark Hill was known in the department, not for bravery, not for kindness, but for results. Gets the job done, his captain always said. What they didn't say out loud was how he did it. Mark believed certain people were naturally criminals. He said it casually, confidently, at roll call, in the locker room, in his patrol car, and most officers stayed silent. Silence protected him. Mark grew up in a broken home, an angry father, a mother who disappeared early. He learned young that power meant survival, and when he got the badge, power finally answered him. Every night, Mark patrolled the same neighborhoods, same faces, same assumptions. If you were young and black, he watched you longer. If you ran, he chased harder. If you talked back, he pushed, and he always found a reason. Resisting, suspicious behavior, failure to comply. Paper covered everything. One officer, Officer Ben Carter, noticed. Ben was new, young, quiet. One night, Ben asked softly, "Sir, did you really need to slam him like that?" Mark didn't look at him. "You want to go home safe, or you want to be a hero?" Ben said nothing. Silence won again. Then came Eli Johnson, 18 years old, fresh out of high school, walking home with a backpack. Mark saw him and slowed the patrol car. "Fits the profile," Mark muttered. Ben frowned. "Profile of what?" Mark already had his lights on. Eli froze when the siren chirped. Hands up, back straight, heart racing. He'd been taught this moment his whole life. Mark stepped out, bag on the ground, slowly. Eli obeyed. Everything he did was correct. Everything Mark saw was wrong. Mark shoved him against the car. Ben stepped forward. "Sir, he's cooperating." Mark snapped. "Control your rookie." Eli spoke softly. "I didn't do anything, officer." That sentence did it. Mark twisted his arm. Eli cried out. People nearby started recording. Phones came out. Mark felt exposed, angry, threatened. He cuffed Eli hard, charged him with resisting arrest. No weapon, no drugs, no crime, just pain. The video went viral, not because it was dramatic, but because it was calm. Eli calm, Ben frozen, Mark brutal. The caption read, "Doing everything right still isn't enough." The department went into damage control. Mark was placed on administrative leave. He laughed at first. They'll forget in a week. But they didn't. Eli's face was everywhere. News, social media, protest. Ben was called in for questioning. He told the truth. For the first time. "I saw no threat." That ended his friendship with Mark and started Mark's fall. Internal Affairs opened a full investigation. Old complaints resurfaced. Witnesses came forward. Patterns emerged. Mark started to feel something new. Fear. At home, the walls felt closer. Sirens outside made his heart race. He began watching the news obsessively. "They're lying," he told himself, but doubt crept in. Then came the envelope, a subpoena, court date, civil lawsuit. For the first time, the badge felt heavy. Unable to sleep, Mark went for a drive. No uniform, no badge, just him. He stopped at a convenience store. A robbery was in progress. Gunshots, chaos. Mark dropped to the ground instinctively. For once, he was just another man on the floor, heart pounding, hands shaking. The robber ran. Police arrived. They pointed guns at him. "Hands up!" Mark complied. One officer shoved him hard. Another cuffed him roughly. Mark protested. "I'm a cop." They didn't believe him. For 15 minutes, Mark tasted fear, real fear, helpless fear. When his identity was confirmed, the officers apologized, but the damage was done. That night, something cracked. Please tell us where are watching from. The courtroom was packed. Eli sat with his mother. Mark avoided their eyes. The video played again, slower this time, louder. Every shove echoed, every word hurt. Mark was asked to testify. For years, he'd spoken without thinking. Now, his voice shook. Did you perceive a threat? He paused. The truth waited. No, he whispered. Gasps filled the room. Mark continued. I saw what I expected to see. Silence. He confessed, not just to that night, but to a mindset. The verdict came quickly. Guilty. The consequence. Mark lost everything. Badge, pension, reputation. Prison followed. Inside, Mark was no longer powerful. No uniform, no authority. Just another inmate. And irony was cruel. The guards who treated him harshly looked like Eli. Mark felt anger rise, then shame, then understanding. One night, Mark sat alone on his bunk and cried, not for himself, but for every moment he chose fear over humanity. The change. Years later, Mark was released, older, quieter, humbled. He applied to speak at community programs. Most doors closed. One opened, a school. He stood in front of teenagers, hands shaking. I was a police officer, he said. I used my badge to hurt people. The room was silent. I was wrong. That sentence carried weight. Some students listened, some didn't. Change didn't need applause, just honesty. The meeting, one afternoon, Mark saw Eli again, by chance, a grocery store. Eli recognized him instantly. Mark swallowed hard. I don't expect forgiveness, Mark said, but I needed to say, I'm sorry. Eli studied him. A long pause. Then Eli said, I hope you really learned. Mark nodded. I did. Too late, but I did. They walked away, not friends, not enemies, just two men carrying different scars. Final message. Racism doesn't always shout. Sometimes it wears a badge. Sometimes it hides behind silence. And sometimes it only learns when the power is taken away. Truth strikes hardest when you can no longer look away. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe to be part of our lovely family.